One is, we'd like to know a bit about your client's existing business. And point number two is, what are you looking from our client in terms of returns, investments, and stake in the business? And number three, Alex, is as far as your client's wishes to expand, what is she looking in terms of expansion? Is she looking to keep the business, or is she looking to find another location? And fourth is employment. Okay, so going back to point number one, which is the existing business, can you tell us, please, what is the current size of Louise's venture in terms of capacity, employees, including Louise, and what kind of clientele she has right now?
So currently she has 2 full-time staff and 1 salon assistant plus herself. The facility allows for 5 clients at any one time. They mainly focus right now on hair treatments as a salon. In terms of expansion, they were looking at taking a location that is double the size of the location which they're at.
Okay.
They will be able to hire double the amount of staff at the new location.
Okay.
In terms of clients, right now she's thriving. The business has been going for over 10 years, has managed to go unscathed through the economic crisis. What else were you guys looking for in terms of?
In the last calendar year, what was the overall turnover, gross revenue?
Her profit,
Just the revenue.
she has not given us the revenue. Her
Okay.
profit from the last year was £40,000.
And is the business, has it been profitable in the last 10 years? Or if it has not, and if it has, for how many years has it been profitable?
It has been profitable for several years and it has actually survived through the financial hardship that UK hit. So roughly around 10 years, it has been very profitable, and profits are increasing steadily.
Okay, so when you mentioned hair treatment, what did you mean by that? Is she cutting hair?
They're cutting hair, they're doing perms, they're doing.
Curling, coloring, all hair treatments.
Excellent. Thank you.
In terms of the routine operating expenses that she has, do you have some figures as to what they may be?
We may not, unfortunately.
Utilities?
No.
No? Okay.
So we actually had as well a brief agenda, and as you said, in the interest of time, of
Sure.
what we were looking to go over.
Thank you.
So obviously we're
Which is fantastic. I think you're both on the same
That's
path.
great.
It's
That's
nice to be on the
great.
same page, guys. So your first point being the investment, which is our second point. So
if we can finish with your first.
sure,
if you guys
that's
have
what
any
we're
questions,
yeah,
let us
we're
know.
done. Thank you. Yeah. So as far as the capital, what does Louise wants to raise from us?
From you guys or in the total future
Sure.
investment?
Whatever you want to
The
give us.
total future investment that she's looking for is $30,000 to expand the business.
Overall, total from her part and
From her part as well as from Father Thomas.
Okay.
I'm just a little curious. Why is it that she's not going towards conventional financing methods like banks or investment banks?
Well, she's looking for a silent partner. She's not looking for a loan.
Okay.
And currently, with the way the market is, she doesn't want to take a fluctuating interest rate from.
Okay, well, she does have the option of taking closed interest rate, and the way the market is right now, due to the economic downfall, interest rates are actually much better for, like, in order to encourage investors to borrow money. So what I'm trying to find out is she not going to the banks because the banks would not find her investment as safe, or would they not find her as an individual a safe investment?
So her investment is a relatively safe investment. She is not approaching the banks because she cannot get a loan. She is not approaching the banks because she is not looking for a loan. So again, she's looking for an investor, someone to work with her, to invest money and partner in the business,
Okay.
not just borrow money and then pay interest payments.
Okay. Since you brought up investor, my point, the next point would be, How is the business set up currently? I'm gonna assume that it is a sole proprietorship.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if we were to invest, we would not be investing Father Thomas's money as a unsecured lender, unsecured creditor. We would like to have a stake in the business. And what is most important to Father Thomas is that he is secured a routine earning, a routine salary. And we will work, we'll work with you with the terms of that. But in order to have a stake in the company, we would not feel safe if it was operating as a sole proprietorship.
It would make sense when you do have an investor, it would make sense to go into a limited liability partnership. So we would strongly urge towards that.
The reason why we would push for a limited liability partnership is actually twofold. Number one, in a limited liability partnership, the assets of
So that means you don't have to sell it to us. We're on board with
Fantastic.
that. We can go over.
You know what, I even brought registration papers, so we've been working on it, so we're good to go whenever you guys
We
are
already
ready.
started the ball rolling, guys, so we have the limited liability partnership. We'll give you the articles, so it just so, I'm glad that you're both on the same page. So that's the articles for 2000, that's the application form for the limited liability partnerships. So now that we have that out of the way, great.
Sorry, I think it's better if we work out the details before we move on
Sure,
to the next level.
sure.
So, what, in terms of investments, what was your client going to offer?
Okay, so you suggested that she wants to invest 30,000. Of the 30,000, how much is she bringing in?
She's willing to put in 18,000 pounds. So she's looking for another 12,000 pounds on top.
Okay. She's willing to bring in 18,000. Is there room for maneuvering there? Could she go up a little bit, or is that her maximum threshold?
So we do have limited room to move around. It depends on what concessions we can reach on the other
Sure,
parts of the negotiation
Sure.
agreement.
sure. Well, we have a figure in mind, guys, and we're not too far off as far as 30,000. I think 30,000 is a good figure to reach. And so she's willing to bring in 18,000, and we could certainly accommodate her in terms of providing 6,000 as an investment starting capital.
But before we do that, I just wanted to ask another question. When you say expand the business, what is going to happen to the existing business? Are you putting it on sale, or?
So she's looking at a new location,
Right.
which the new location will offer the opportunity to hire more staff and to provide more services and to expand into a greater market.
She's also looking to expand the market itself, so she's looking to have beauty estheticians brought in. There's a great demand for it in Buckingham, so she's trying to expand in terms of both the location and in terms of the both.
So she will be operating the existing venture, and on top of that, she'll be acquiring a second venture.
No, they will just take a new location
Right.
and move.
And move the business.
The business
from
to
one
the new
location to the
location.
next.
Okay, fair enough. So currently she has 5 chairs, you said, 5?
Yes,
And so if there's 2 employees, including Louise,
Yes.
yes.
that's 3 chairs being occupied.
Mhm.
And so what happens to the other 2? What's happening? Is she doing something with those 2 chairs?
Currently, no.
Okay.
Okay. Are you aware that she does have the opportunity to put them on lease? Like, she can rent them out to other
Potential,
Operators.
hairdressers that could come in. The going rate right now in Buckingham is £150 a week per chair. So that,
The thing with our client is that she likes to offer her clients the best quality of work, so she doesn't just want to offer anything. And when you lease, you risk the chance of bringing in salon workers that don't really, you never know if their heart is there 100% or if their qualifications are there. So she prefers to take her time and get the right qualifications from these people, and prefers to deliver the best quality that she can. That's how she has expanded the business, and that's why her business has been increasingly
That's why.
expanding.
That's why she's been thriving for so long, because
Mhm.
Right, but at this point, what you're proposing is increasing the size of the business by more than 200%. You have 5 chairs, you're going to go to, I think you said twice, so 10 chairs. On top of that, you'd have a beauty salon.
Sorry, just
Sorry.
7 chairs, and
7
then,
chairs, apologize.
and then add 2 rooms,
Right.
which would be beauty rooms.
Right.
So then, and then double the staff, which would be 2 more hairstylists.
Okay, so in general, what I'm sensing is that your expenditures are going to go up by 200%, about 200%. Are you certain that you'd be able to increase your revenue by 200% as well?
So we have here a investment proposal which discusses our forecasts for the upcoming 2 years.
Okay.
Now, what she is projecting
Yeah.
is 100% increase, so to double the profit essentially over the next
Sure.
2 years. Now, that being said, she is going to be offering extra services, so although she will be having additional costs, she's looking at investing in a tanning bed.
Yes.
Currently, there are no tanning beds in the Buckingham area. The
There's
tanning,
a great demand for tanning beds in Buckingham,
Okay.
especially with given the weather in the UK, there's not many sunny days.
Right.
And a lot of people, the research has shown that a lot of people do enjoy tanning beds.
Sure.
We will have some serious reservation in terms of the tanning, and I'm going to explain to you why. It's not going to be unreasonable. You'll understand what I mean when I bring the statistics up. This is 70,000, right? Not 7 million.
70,000 disappeared.
No problem. Thank you.
No problem. Just wanted to clarify. In terms of tanning salons, since 1993, salons have been increasing in the UK by about 200%. You know what else has increased by 200% in that time? Skin cancer. I have some statistics here from Cancer Research UK. They're actually from not too far off each other. One is UK, one is Great Britain, not too far off. I also have some medical journals. This one by the Oxford Medicine Journal, American Academy of Dermatology, and another article that talks about the increased risk posed by tanning salon on women specifically. That one's by Harvard.
That's from Harvard.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, tanning salons bring in liabilities as far as, Paula Abdul is currently suing a tanning salon for burden those costs for her. So tanning salon is, as far as Father Thomas is concerned, is for aesthetic purposes. He's willing to invest, but he's not into the beauty treatments and so on and so forth. And he's not about vanity. He's willing to, invest in a hair salon, but definitely not a tanning salon.
How about a spraying tanning salon, which is, it's completely artificial, there's no damage to skin, it's just, it washes off after a couple of showers,
Yes.
and it's fairly popular.
It's lucrative.
We don't have a toxicity study on the material that are used in the spray-on tans. However, we will keep our mind open to that. But what we are absolutely against are the tanning beds. With the UV light tanning, we can't have that for several reasons. One, just moral. We owe society as a whole a duty to not be negligent. When we know, when the facts are out there, we can't be negligent and take those risks. Number two, as my partners pointed out, the chance of lawsuits. Right?
We understand,
Yeah.
we understand your position.
Sure.
Let's move on to the other stuff, and
Let's
we
put
can
that
consider that as well.
So actually, before we move on, I just want to bring up one point in
Yeah.
the same thing that we are on. As far as once we did limited liability partnership, Section 4.4 of the Act states, of the Limited Liability Partnership Act states, for the purposes of the statute, all partners are to be regarded as employed by the partnership. So what that means is, since we agreed to have limited liability partnership, Father Thomas has to be employed in some sort of a capacity in order to, venture into this
Yeah, and
enterprise.
given his background, I mean, you know him as a priest who served the Buckingham Parish for 6 years. However, along with his pastoral duties and the duties to council, he's been serving, on several boards that have successfully run a, food drive, a clothing drive, other voluntary and charitable events. So he has immense experience in both marketing and with accounting, with the logistical responsibilities on that one is necessary to put these events together.
What capacity is he looking at working in?
I think he would play a great role in managerial or looking over the accounts, the logistical work, putting in the orders for the various merchandise, bringing them in, making sure they're getting in on time. And he would like some input into hiring of staff.
Okay. With all due respect to your client, our client has extensive knowledge and experience in this field, given that she has run the business for 10 years and has been a hairstylist for long before that. So in case, and as my partner has already stated, she does want control of the whole salon. However, we are flexible and we understand Father Thomas' position. We do want to work with you guys, so we could offer him the marketing officer position that we have currently. He could handle the marketing and everything.
Sure, I think that's very generous of you. And at the same time, I want to point out that, as you said, Louise does have many years of experience, but sometimes division of labor is a good thing to have. If somebody was working on the floor, but at the same time had to manage the accounts, had to manage various logistical aspects of the business, it may become an unnecessary burden for them. I understand she has experience to handle it, but so does Father Thomas. And being new to the market can actually be a good thing in the sense that he would be more constructive in the sense that he would like to learn more about the business, at least from the managerial aspect of it, the logistical aspect of it, and he would like to help out as much as he can. And he would have the sense of security that his investments are in good hands.
Okay, so we're happy with the marketing aspect of it. We shall take it one step further if we can agree on, some sort of a fortnightly meetings and some input as far as hiring is concerned. I mean, obviously, they're partners and he is entitled to some sort of a input. Would you agree?
Definitely, I think he is entitled to input. Let's put hiring on the side.
Sure.
It's a possibility. Can we take a look at the shareholding? What is he looking to receive in return for his investment?
Okay. If we were to invest £5,000 from a startup point, out of our 30,000, and the total investment being £30,000, then I think the fair amount would be, I think 5 out of 1/6 works out to around 16.67%, around 17%, if we were to round it up. 16, 17%, somewhere in there. Shareholding of that amount, I think, would be a decent.
Now, the business is already existing, so the value of the business itself is not 30,000. Although the investment is 30,000, the business currently is valued at 40,000. So he would be investing, if he put in 5,000, it would be £5,000 into a £70,000 business.
Even still, it is a new venture. Going into a
Sorry
new.
to interrupt, the venture is not new. The business is established for 10 years, correct?
Right, well, I think what my partner meant to say was that without Louise putting in the investment, there is no new venture. So as far as moving to a new location, because she doesn't have the money. So in order to facilitate this, what we suggest is that, Nasib suggested that we're looking at a 16 to 17%. Are we close at all in terms of?
We're discussing on, sorry, you said £5,000.
Sure.
Initially, you guys had mentioned £6,000.
Sure.
So on £6,000, 16 to 17% of a £70,000 business,
Right.
there's a big gap.
So 70,000. Sorry, Alex. Where did you get 70,000 again from?
The business currently is valued at £40,000.
That's right.
If you take a look there, and then
Yes,
by
so
adding
that
in-
is based on the overall profit from the previous year. But that's not the valuation of the business. That's just the
the
profit.
business was valued at 40,000. Although the profit is 40,000, the
Okay.
business was also valued at 40,000.
And you're projecting the business would increase by £30,000 to £70,000.
As £30,000 is being invested into
Right.
the business, thus raising the capital of the company.
Okay, again, there is nothing to guarantee that you'll be able to, when I was first asking that, what portion, when I was first asking regarding the number of clientele you were having, the amount of profit you were generating, that's guaranteed, you have that in paper, but I mean, there's nothing to guarantee that you'll actually be able to increase your business by 30, to a 70,000 figure. And this is a projection for the next year.
So the way we're calculating the 70,000 figure is the assets of the business, correct? So right now the business is valued at 40,000 because of the assets. If you put in another 30,000, that is a 30,000 pound asset, thus it would be a 7,000 pound total. That is how we calculated it. We're not calculating it based on the projections. Based on the projections, we would actually calculate the value of the business much higher, because we're projecting that the profit will no longer be 40,000, but will be 80,000.
We can double the profit. So, okay, I was just,
Sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you guys.
Yeah.
I think we should just focus back on the shareholding,
Sure.
because I think we're getting a little bit off
Okay,
topic with
right,
the
that's fine.
projections.
Yeah.
So in terms of shareholding, we believe our authority to be in the range of 8%. However, we do have some leeway, given what your client is.
8% for in return for how much?
For 12,000 pounds.
Okay.
So Louise is coming in with 22,000?
Well, she's coming, again, she has 40,000 pounds in the business right now, so she would be coming into the new venture, as you refer to it, as 18,000. She's putting in an additional 18,000 pounds
Right.
on top of the existing 40,000 pound value. So she would be coming into the venture with 58,000 pounds.
So when you are selling off or ending the lease of the existing venture and moving to the new venture, to the new facilities, what assets are you taking with you? Other than the name, possibly the logo, the marketing, what?
Everything that's in the salon,
Well,
we've taken like the usual.
The
The
chattels,
chairs,
so you mean to tell us the chattels are worth 40,000?
it's not, that's not what's worth 40,000. Reoccurring business, the
It's
clients,
existing
which
clients.
are
Oh.
exactly the clients which have been recurring for the past several years, will be moving to the new location as well.
Together with the reputation that has been
And
built.
bear in mind, the new location is not far. It is a couple of streets over from the existing one.
What location do you have in mind?
The new location that she was looking at was on London Road.
Actually, Father Thomas had some ideas regarding new venues. He thinks if you could bring down your routine expenses, your profits technically would go up, and you probably would not need the 30,000 pounds investment. In terms of the location that we were discussing, they were in Castle Road and Hunter Street. Now, the importance of Castle Road and Hunter Street as opposed to London Road is that they are closer to town. They are in proximity of other businesses. There are dentists. I mean, Castle Road is where Villiers Hotel is located. So you have dentists, you have...
Castle Road is right here, right? This is Castle Road, Hunter Street, and somewhere.
Castle Road and London Road intersect
Yes,
at the center of town.
yes. So the closer you get to the town, the higher the rent is going to be. So you just because you're a minute away or 2 minutes away from the town, the rent is obviously going to be less. There's going to be more parking spots, and as you can imagine, on Hunter Street, you got Buckingham University, which has a very high student population, which could be a main clientele, and there's 4 schools nearby here. If you multiply just on average 500 students times 4, you get 2,000 students in there.
So you're suggesting to put it closer to
So
the.
what I'm suggesting is that I think you can reduce your total investment from 30,000 pounds down to around 25,000 pounds. And if Louise is fixed on 18,000 pounds, we may be able to move up from 6,000, which I incorrectly said 5, but 6,000 to 7,000. That will bring us to the 25,000 pounds figure.
So, in terms of the investment that she's looking for, she is looking for 30,000.
Right, in total.
In total, correct. Raising it to a 7,000 pound figure, it's a little bit closer, but there's still a 5,000 pound disparity. Again, depending on everything else, the shareholding is a big part. We may be able to make certain adjustments to how much she is investing. It will not be the full 5,000 pounds, but as I said, she is looking for 30,000 pounds to put in.
I want to move away from the shareholding and the amount of investment for just a second. I want to talk about how Father Thomas can expect to see a return. As I said at the beginning, that he was interested in a monthly salary, and yes, you agreed that he could take certain logistical marketing roles. How can he, or what portion of your monthly profit are you looking at?
So in terms of the monthly salary, as she was looking for a silent investor, and we are making the concession to allow for employment, and there will be obviously payment for the employment, the salary as well as the investment, the return which you would see would be equivalent to the percentage of his investment, to the percentage of his shareholding. So in terms of what we agree now, again, in terms of monthly payments, she isn't looking at doing monthly payments because she was looking for an annual,
An annual payment.
for a silent investor with an annual payment. Now, we do understand that Father Thomas is in a tough financial situation, is looking for employment. We can make concessions to make payments sooner.
We are
But-
flexible with the payment within the first, maybe first a couple of months so we can get back on his feet. Obviously, as this will be a new business, the move will affect the business. So obviously, within the first couple of months, there won't be any income. But from then on, maybe we could work something out.
Have you looked at how long it would take for the business to start generating
Just to
profit?
clarify, the business is likely to generate profit immediately, but seeing as it's moving to a new location, there will be various advertisements and promotions put into place, and you don't want to pay out the money that you're investing right away, so you want to wait a couple of months prior to start taking dividends or income.
Okay, well, we're not discussing dividends because that would be if we were to incorporate, which I have the documents for, but since we've agreed on LLPs, we'll stick with this. Under this condition, the partners should be taking a salary according to the amount that they're investing. That is the standard process to follow. On top of that, if they're to give themselves a salary which they're going to show as an expense, that's something they can also do beforehand. So if Louise, for example, is working 30 hours a week and she wants to give herself a salary for that, that could be part of the expenses. And similarly, if Father Thomas is working similar hours, then his portion would also come as a expense. And after all the expenses are deducted, you could then, whatever was left would be taken according to the proportion of their investments. So if Louise is taking a salary in the first month, which is part of the expense, regular expense, you have to pay any other employees, you pay Louise, you pay Father Thomas, then you would be able to give out something in the form of a salary in the first month, yes?
Again, we would not be able to give out salary in the first month to Father Thomas, as currently in Louise's capacity, she's running the business fully, so she will be there full-time, weekends, days, nights, to ensure that the business is profitable. The opportunity that Father Thomas has here is, we know that he has a family and that it's important to him, and what Louise was looking for, as I originally said, was a silent investor, one who will put in money, who will see return on investment come back, and who's,
Sorry.
sure, as you said, you know what, we moved past that.
And this will also give Father Thomas an opportunity to find work elsewhere.
Sorry, is Louise, and also, I just wanted to clarify that one point, is Louise also not taking a salary in the first couple of months?
Louise is likely taking a salary.
Okay, so what I was saying is, if you were to, because as you said, this is a big move, you're moving an existing successful business to another location, and it is a lot of work. If Louise had to take care of the logistical aspect of it, the marketing aspect of it, which you said there would be a lot of marketing, then that would kind of detract her from running up the shop, watching over new employees that are coming in, which would be counterproductive towards the profit that we were talking about. So wouldn't it be better if Louise kept in the shop and let Father Thomas handle the marketing, because as we have already discussed for 6 years, he's done it quite well. With very limited funds coming in from the diocese, he ran a church, the church's various projects that the church had. And I think this move is the perfect sort of project that Father Thomas could carry out, and that would greatly help Louise carry out the functions within the shop. So if you have a division of labor, not to bother Louise with the marketing aspect, which I'm sure she's quite capable of doing, having done it for 10 years, but if you could keep her within the shop, then having the new employees come in, she could keep an eye on the new employees. Since we're talking about new employees, another issue I wanted to bring up was Katie, the daughter of Father Thomas. She is also looking into hairdressing. Sure. And I mean, you would automatically have a new employee to begin with, someone who could wait on the salary for several months while she was being trained.
Well, as we have said before, Louise really wants the best quality of everything for her salon. And this could mean that she actually needs to be trained. Does she have the qualifications of a hairdresser?
Actually, she is looking to be trained, and one of the important factors that I wanted to bring up is when you are there are actually grants being given out by both the District Council, Aylesburyville District Council, as well as the Ministry of Labor, towards businesses, small businesses that hire youth and train them. So you could benefit by. Actually, she is looking to be trained, and one of the important factors that I wanted to bring up is when you are there are actually grants being given out by both the District Council, Aylesburyville District Council, as well as the Ministry of Labor, towards businesses, small businesses that hire youth and train them. So you could benefit by, I mean, even if we were not able to meet the £30,000 investment requirement, you could benefit by having government grants come in to help out the business.
And by having Katie employed.
Now, that does seem like a good opportunity. Having said that, though, we need to know what the grant is.
We need to know if we can actually
And-
do this partnership before we can discuss the
The grant is in the amount of $2275, and it's actually being given by the Department of Works and Pensions.
And is that given to the employer?
It is
To the-
given to
to the company?
Yes, to the company.
Okay, and what are the requirements that it has on the grant?
That you hire somebody at a youth, so that's 16 to 19 years of age, and you train them. Those are the two fundamental requirements.
I'm assuming she's, how old is she?
She's between those ages.
And in terms of getting the grant, if this partnership does go through, how is that going to be divided?
So that would go directly to the organization, and you would train Louise for the time being.
So rather than taking Louise out to go and do her own training, we'll train Katie with that grant.
And then in terms of the shareholding that would be for that grant, is that left for Louise? As she is doing the training?
That's the shareholding, the grant, we actually did not calculate the grant to be part of the shareholding.
Right,
We're going to give you that leeway. So we were expecting that you'd be a little more flexible in terms of the amount of shares that you were able to offer us. Keep in mind that we're not exactly on page with you in terms of the 70,000 valuation, and we would need more than that, more than I think 8 to 10% you said.
top of our investment, the grant is separate. And then if you guys can come up a little bit as far as Luis's investment, and then maybe we'll maneuver a little bit and come to an agreement.
No, we can't make any promises on hiring Father Thomas's.
Maybe.
Yeah, we can't make any
That's something
promises on
that has
hiring
to be
Katie.
discussed with
That
our
has to be
client.
discussed with our client. It does seem like a viable option,
Mhm.
so that is fair. Now, assuming that we can hire Katie, and assuming that Father Thomas takes on a marketing role, he would like
Sure.
more, to be more involved, I understand that.
Right.
What is the flexibility in terms of the payments?
Okay, assuming those two things, and then on top of that, like I said before, full monthly meetings and some sort of involvement in recruitment and marketing, we can possibly, if you guys move it a little bit up,
Mhm.
and I think we could be very close to a 30,000 settlement here. And you suggested, Alex, you say 18,000 before?
First,
Yes.
What did you find out?
Sorry, I was
Last
referring to in terms of the recurring, like, how often will he be getting paid?
we were looking for a monthly salary, just like Luis or any other employee would be taking.
Now, is there flexibility on the monthly salary?
The only flexibility that we could be willing to work with is the monthly salary is not flexible. However, maybe we'll take it for a 6-month period to begin with,
Mhm.
and then we can move it every 2 months, possibly.
I'm assuming after 6 months, the business should be in a quite stable ground, so we really need to.
Yes.
But if there was a certain need, we could look into that. We're flexible on that, but he does need a salary as soon as he begins working.
So we'll take a monthly salary starting from the beginning, up until 6 months, contingent upon Katie being employed and trained. So
Mhm.
she'll be getting paid, so we can live off of Katie's income a little bit. And then he takes a little income, then come 6 months, the business will pick up, and then maybe every 2 months, you guys can possibly make a payment.
So 2 months after the first 6 months.
Yes. Just in the interest of, having a deal in place. And we would strongly recommend that you go back to your client and have Katie employed. And which benefits.
Katie is something that we have to discuss
Sure.
again, as my partner said,
Sure.
with our client, but it does seem like a viable option.
But Sheila, the grant is very attractive,
Yes.
and why let that go to waste? And it's a small town, it's a conservative town with 111 churches,
That's,
and people, and lots of kids in here, and people will look at that and go, this hair salon just employed a kid out of high school,
mhm.
and that's very good for the business.
That's something that we could consider. What were you guys, in terms of percentages, we're thinking if we can give you a little leeway, you would, you said you were thinking of 16%,
That's
is that what you said? How flexible is that percentage?
It's only flexible going up.
How flexible are you guys in terms of?
Some of the money that you want to
You guys are at £7,000 with 16% shareholding. See, the investment is less than what she's looking for. Granted, there is a 22, so I guess the investment is getting closer to what she's looking for. However, the shareholding is, there's a big disparity, so although we do it
There was a big disparity?
in terms of the investment and shareholding, because although we can make concessions on both the investment and the shareholding,
Okay.
Louise would be looking at a larger investment,
Okay.
even taking into consideration grant, and she would be looking at essentially giving out a smaller portion of the business.
So we're willing to go with the large investment.
Okay.
As long as the portion percentage goes up slightly, not exponentially, or not in terms of par with what we're going to go up
From 16%.
from 16%. Alex, do you have have some room as far as going up a little bit, and we'll come and we'll meet halfway?
So we have,
How close are you guys, in terms of your final cutoff figure from your client, how close are
in
you?
terms of shareholding, we can move the shareholding, we can offer 10%, but really 10% is reaching as much as we have authority to give out. And again, there is a large gap from 10% to 16%. And as I said, the investment is also quite off. I mean, we're looking for £12,000. If £7,000 is put in, so that's £5,000 difference, less 2275, so that's 2725. So there's a £2,725 disparity on the investment, and there is 6% disparity on shareholding.
Sure. Alex, can you come up a little bit as far as investment from your client?
We
The money.
understand that she recently came across £22,000, and can she put in a little bit more money to kind of make up for the shortfall?
Unfortunately, she's not.
Why is that, Sheila? I'm just curious as to why. She just came across from selling that wedding dress, plus returning the money she got from the ex-fiance. She came across $22,000. What happened to that money?
She has personal expenses that are completely separate from the business. If you give us a moment, let us look over. I think we've gone pretty close to reaching an agreement.
We have approximately 30 minutes.
Okay.
I just saw something here. The 2,800 will be used to purchase canning bed on page 4 of the expansion. We need to come back to that because I'm sure that you would definitely have to take that out because our client will not go for that. So it's something you guys stuck in there and no, we were trying to see
And you need to also let us know about the spray tanning.
Right, and so we'll get back to our client as far as spray tanning. If you would please to go back to your client about KDB report.
In terms of the tannings, yeah, that is absolutely no one problem for that.
Okay.
And as long as we have an understanding on that, we can take out the 2,800, we can come closer to what we asked for.
So if that's going towards the tanning bed, then if you take that out, so we're close down to almost 27,000. So we're there.
Well, that's just one of the ideas that our client had in mind.
This is what we can suggest, and you guys have been very flexible. In terms of the investment, Louise can put in 20,000, and that is the absolute maximum. Now that leaving 10,000, so assuming there's, again, if he puts in 7,000, there's a £2,275 grant, that leaves £725. Is that something that Father Thomas can make the difference?
But with one question, which is very, very crucial to ask, which is how much percentage are you giving us?
The absolute maximum we can do is 12%.
So you want...
With Katie being hired.
Sorry,
With Katie being hired.
with Katie being hired.
Yes.
So with Katie being hired,
So you guys, bear in mind, we will be drawing then 2 incomes.
so just to recap everything, so Katie being hired, we have a limited liability partnership.
Again, limited liability, we do need to run by the client. It seems as a viable option that I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be.
Alex, it's something that's important because from a sole proprietorship, just so that I can make you guys, from a sole proprietorship to limited liability partnership, it's crucial when we invest in some money. And that's in the best interest of everybody, for no reason for us. And there's no detriment to your client, because our client, Father Thomas, is going to be working in some sort of capacity in advertising and so forth. So it's not something that we need to get back, it's something that we need to have.
Well, maybe it's something that we should touch on last if we
Sure.
do agree on everything else.
Sure.
So, Katie being hired, 12% is the maximum that we could offer.
Sure.
With Father
£5,725.
Okay.
And then the grant, assuming that everything is correct with the grant, so that would put it to a total of £10,000.
But also, we're subtracting the 2,800 pounds from the tanning bed, correct?
Are we not put the 20?
In terms of her investment, so she has several ideas for the investment. The investment that she is certain on is £30,000. So there may be flexibility in terms of the tanning bed. Again, it's something that
She has other ideas for that amount for that. This one was just the one that she would love for her
and
to
see
have.
being a sticking point.
Right.
Sure. So
Now, and also as far as sticking points concerned, are you willing to move to Hunter Street or Castle Street?
so
We've been trying to work this out. So if we can consider it, if we can work something out with the payments.
Right. No, we don't, that's only going to give you something, but I think it's important to put the whole puzzle together because the puzzle is very close to being put together. And rather than agree on one and then stay away from the other ones, we're very, very close to putting this deal together. But in order for us to do that, we need to answer that question, which is Louise going to move towards the south a little bit in order to have a cheaper location?
Which will bring down our overall operating expenses.
Now, is this something that Father Thomas has looked at and
Yes.
finalized?
There is a 5-chair with a room that Louise wanted for.
is there one room or more than one room?
It is one room house. It is one room with the 5 chairs and 2 for obviously, you kind of want to.
Because our client wanted 2 rooms, because she wanted the 2 rooms for the beauty, for esthetician rooms.
Right.
And you do need 2 rooms for
Right.
a salon, because, one
Is
room.
it an absolute must for her, or is she willing to go for 1 room?
Well, 2 rooms will always be needed in a salon. It's very convenient, and the clientele that will come don't have to wait as long for appointments. Therefore, the revenue goes up if you have clientele that are coming in.
Sure.
So 2 rooms were what we were thinking of. In terms of chairs, you said 5 chairs. And
I think this, the proposal that's being proposed would be a gradual move up instead of going with this like 200%, not being entirely, I mean, this is, we're not fixed on it, we're just discussing it.
yeah.
Instead of this being, growing the business by 200% overnight, practically, to grow it about 50-60%, I think is a more conservative way to go about it. And if this is not an absolute necessity for Louise, I think we should consider it.
Are you ready next 30 seconds?
So yes, we could agree.
So let's agree on
We agree on everything. So we got 12%,
Okay.
which is the absolute maximum, and you wanted 77.25. We'll agree that.
Monthly salary for both Father Thomas and eventually Katie when she's trained.
So in terms of monthly salary, we can give marketing. If he wants recruiting, he can have recruiting, but we cannot give monthly salary.
We'll go with the marketing, and monthly salary.
No, we cannot go with monthly salary. We can give marketing, but the salary has to be less often than monthly. Initially, to start out,
For 6 months and then 2,
and then we can do every 3 months.
every 3 months is fine, we'll go with 6 months. Initially to start out
And
every month.
there won't be any tanning salon.
Yeah, there's no tanning salon.
No
And
setting bed.
the
Tanning
tanning
bed,
bed.
That's great.
Sprays
Which
on
we'll
every-
consider. And that's pretty much it. That's we're ready to sign up on it, guys.
So just have a look at this, Alex, and sure there's, it's exactly what we discussed. Is there any surprises in here that I should be aware of?